This video is part of the Craft Room Organization Challenge brought to you by 3 talented ladies: Sammy of Unicorn Dust Designs, Jamie of SimpleRoots SimpleLiving, and Annie of Indiana Jones. Be sure to check out the challenge playlist link, which will be located in the description box below. You will find a lineup of videos full of crafts and tips for your craft room organization. Be sure to also check out these 3 lovely ladies. You won't be disappointed with their wonderful channels full of helpful DIYs for your home. Now let's get to my craft room. Within the last year, I've decided to create a whole room for my crafting supplies and my crafting. My craft room was pretty organized in the beginning. Storage and being able to have enough room for all of my crafting supplies became an issue. But the shelving system that my husband and I implemented allowed for growth. I purchased this shelving system at Home Depot with the track system and the different brackets that could be used for different heights. Was really helpful in creating what I needed for my craft supplies. It also helped me to organize my tools. I purchased several drawer bins that I placed along the floor underneath the shelving system. If you keep your eyes open, you can score several of these types of bins at your local Goodwill. For my desk, I used a simple thrifted hutch bottom, which basically held exactly what I needed. Just ignore the mess because this is how I work. I'm also able to pull out my sewing table whenever I need it. I'll add the link for my video on how I refinished my sewing table. I am moving everything out of my son's room into my craft room, and then my craft room will become my son's room. And he's coming back from college and he needs a little bit more privacy than what his room was getting, so we're going to switch it out. And they're kind of small rooms, but we're going to try to figure this out. Let me show you what I've got going already. This is pretty much the things that I've been pulling down from all of those shelves, and it's all over the floor, and then I started to pull it out into the kitchen, and it really was a huge mess, and it was a lot more than I thought I had. I took all the track down with the shelving. As you can see, it's bare now, and this is some floral holders that I placed on here, but they still have problems, so I've got to do something other than what I've got going here for my floral, because they just kind of slip out. But the biggest part was moving my son's furniture out of his room into this room, and so here is his bed now. Okay, so I don't even know what I was gonna say. Have you ever lost your train of thought? Well, that's me today. Anyway, all of the things that were in my craft room are in my kitchen, and my kitchen is a nightmare right now, and my living room. I don't even know how I had that much stuff, but obviously, as you can see, the shelving that I have will not support what I've got going on. And I've come up with a solution, and I'll show you that later. And now here we are in my new craft room, which, if you could tell the lighting difference, it is so much darker in here, and that's because I have a different type of light bulb in there. It's that ultra white bright light. It's LED or something, I don't know. I've got to buy another one, so I will share with you guys the type of light bulb that I use in that room to get it super bright. And In this room, let me show you, we've already painted one of the walls white so I could get the shelving up. This is a process, this painting thing. So here I have the shelves already up, and I've got one more shelf to put, and I'm going to probably put it about right here, a little bit, give a little bit more width. I'm just trying to get the exact height of what I need for this size of bin to fit, and I'll put product all up there, things, you know, and because this is not what it's going to look like, I've just shoved things up there. But I'll probably place a shelf with a little more height, and so this way I can place some of my taller objects. For example, my little double lazy Susan that holds a lot of my paint. I've brought in my crafting table, and these are some wrought iron outdoor lanterns that I decided, hey, these would be great, and I just simply attached these kinds of lamps that you can get, lanterns that you can get like at Walmart or Harbor Freight, really cheap. But this is the kind of light bulb that I'm talking about. Maybe it'll have the name on it. Well, you know what? Great value right there. So it is a Walmart brand, so that means it's going to be cheaper than the higher brand. So, but these lamps have really changed my videoing because the lighting is so much better. So this is my good old crafting table. Whenever you see my guys crafting, this is it. And this is all I've gotten done. Okay, so here is where I craft. I set up my camera on this just put together stand, and I have it. Wow, check this out, guys. Okay, so boom, with one click of the button, instant lighting. I've got it all rigged up with tape, fancy, look at fancy, and that's rigged up here, fancy. And it's a strip that can hold all my, like my hot glue gun, and then if I plug up my sander, and then I just with one button, boom, turn it on and off all the lights. And here is how this all looks presently. I've purchased some bins from Dollar Tree, several bins that is. I have some cloth bins and also some hard plastic. The hard plastic I already had, but I went ahead and did place that fourth shelf up at the top, and as you can see, the top bins are a cloth type material, which they're not super sturdy, but for now they're working just fine. I need to label them. They are holding things like out of season product that I didn't use during the winter season and fall season. Now these bins I already had, and they've already been labeled. It is so much easier to work with bins that have been labeled because you can find everything so much easier. This shelf I have not completely organized, and so I've got to work on it. Here is the rack that I had placed up on the closet that was holding my flowers, and as you recall, I talked about how they would slip out. Well, I placed them flat on the shelf, and now they are in place, and I can pull them out much more easily. These are some longer stemmed flowers that I do have to keep on another one of those wire racks, which has just been simply hooked onto a Dollar Tree closet hanger. And because they are longer, they will have to stay here because there's not enough room for them to fit on the other one that is just laying on the shelf. And on this shelf, I'm keeping items that I'm using for that season. As you can see here, I've got ribbon and products. These are things that I am using for my current projects. Here are some Easter items and some March items, spring things that I will be using for my projects currently. This is a bin that I picked up at Goodwill, and I picked it because it had all these little drawers that are holding several of my beads, and I've misplaced two of these little drawers. I've got to find them, but this is really handy. I think I need a larger one. And here are my drawer bins. And I wanted to show you inside one of these drawer bins. I do collect, of course, several different types of plastic containers to help me with organizing, and then there are some plastic see-through containers from items that I purchase, and I save them and use them to help organize my things. This is a coffee box that I just tore off the flaps, and I'm putting a lot of my scrap pieces of craft sticks. But as you can see, things are much more organized and not all over the place. You can just use simple plastic boxes from things that you've bought. And these bins hold things like scissors and even my different tools. Moving over to my desk, this is a planner that was suggested by Heidi Sambul, and I absolutely love it. This is a day designer. I picked it up at Walmart, and it has all the months laid out where I can easily see things that I need to keep track of. And then it also gives me a day-to-day list of things that need to be done throughout the day. This is the planner that I was using beforehand, but it just wasn't itemized enough for what I needed. And here, once again, in one of my drawers, I'm going to show you that I've taken a vegetable tray and, of course, cleaned it out and reused it. It fit perfectly inside of this drawer, and I can organize all of my office supplies. Just be creative. I always like to use clear bins. And there you have my craft organization. It's not complete, but I think that craft rooms are a process of evolution. Whatever works best for you at the moment is what you should go for. Not everybody has big spaces for craft areas. Sometimes you have just a table or a little corner, and that's fine. Just be organized. That is the key that I have found to crafting, because I didn't always dedicate an entire room to crafting. I had to use a smaller space, but the key to crafting successfully is to try to stay as organized as possible. Thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to check out those other crafters' ideas, tips, and hacks in the challenge playlist link. And be sure to check out the hostess channel links. Until the next video, have a great day.